My friend demanded I help her with every crisis, guilt-tripping me with, "You're the only one who cares about me." When I needed her support, she ghosted me. When she came back asking for another favor, I said, "I'm not your therapist. Find one that gets paid." I had a friend named Rachel. We met during our freshman year at the University of California, Los Angeles. She was outgoing and charismatic, while I was more reserved. Our friendship grew over shared classes and late-night study sessions. After graduation, I became a school psychologist in San Francisco, and Rachel pursued a career in counseling. Despite the distance, she frequently called me, often in distress. Whether it was a breakup, job stress, or family issues, I was her sounding board. She'd say, "You're the only one who cares about me." At first, I felt honored to be her support system. But over time, I noticed a pattern. She reached out only when she needed help. My calls or messages during my own challenging times often went unanswered. The turning point came when my father passed away. Grieving and overwhelmed, I reached out to her, hoping for comfort. She didn't respond. Weeks passed without a word. When she finally called, it was to discuss her latest relationship woes, oblivious to my loss. I was stunned. I mentioned my father's death, expecting an apology or some empathy. Instead, she said, "Oh, I didn't know. Sorry about that." Anyway, back to what I was saying. That was the moment I realized the imbalance in our friendship. Months later, she contacted me again, needing advice about a work conflict. I decided it was time to address the issue. I replied, "I'm not your therapist. Find one that gets paid." She was taken aback, accusing me of being cold and unsupportive. I explained how I felt used and that our friendship lacked reciprocity. She dismissed my feelings, insisting I was overreacting. After our confrontation, we stopped communicating. I felt a mix of relief and sadness. Letting go of a long-standing friendship is never easy, but I knew it was necessary for my well-being. I focused on nurturing relationships that were mutual and supportive. I also sought therapy to process my feelings and understand why I allowed such a one-sided friendship to persist for so long. Friendships should be based on mutual respect, support, and understanding. It's essential to recognize when a relationship becomes toxic and to have the courage to set boundaries. While it's painful to let go, doing so can lead to personal growth and healthier connections. A few months passed with no contact from Rachel. I didn't miss the late-night phone calls, the emotional dumping, or the guilt trips. Life started to feel calm for the first time in years. I was sleeping better, eating better, even laughing more at work. I was beginning to heal, but part of me still felt raw. Not angry, just worn out. Then she came back. It was a Wednesday. I remember because I had just finished a rough day dealing with a student in crisis. I was drained. When I checked my phone, there it was, her name lighting up my screen like a ghost from the past. Her message? "Hey, I really need to talk. It's urgent. Please." I stared at it. My thumb hovered over the screen. I almost deleted it. But curiosity is a weird thing. I opened it. I didn't reply right away. I waited 2 days. When I finally texted back, I just wrote, "What is it?" She responded instantly. "I'm in a really bad place. I know I messed up, but I need someone right now. Please don't turn your back on me." She knew exactly how to word it, how to push the guilt button. I didn't want to get dragged back in. So I texted, "I think you need a therapist, Rachel. I'm not equipped to handle this anymore." She read it. No response. That weekend, my mutual friend Marissa called me. She sounded panicked. "Did you really tell Rachel to go find a therapist? She's telling everyone you abandoned her during a mental health crisis." I was shocked. "What?" "I just told her I couldn't be her therapist anymore." "I've been saying that for months." "Well, she's spinning it differently. Now people think you just cut her off while she was having a breakdown." This wasn't just a misunderstanding. It was intentional. She was turning people against me. I started getting side eyes at work events. People I'd known for years were suddenly distant. A few even unfollowed me online. Someone even left a vague post about fake friends who act like saints. I wanted to scream. I had been there for her through everything for years. Now I was the bad guy? Then the weird stuff started happening. Someone started leaving passive-aggressive comments on my work blog. Things like, "You seem like someone who just walks away when things get hard." Another comment said, "Maybe take a look at your own toxic traits before pointing fingers." I tried to ignore it. I told myself it wasn't her. Maybe it wasn't. But the tone was familiar. It sounded like things Rachel used to say to me when she didn't get her way. Then it escalated. One night, I came home and found an envelope taped to my apartment door. No return address. Inside was a handwritten note. "You act like a therapist, but you're really just cold. People see the truth now." My stomach dropped. This wasn't just gossip anymore. It was personal. It was calculated. I installed a camera near my door. I didn't want to believe she would go this far, but I also didn't want to be naive. A week later, I got footage. It wasn't Rachel. It was her new boyfriend. I had seen him once at a party months ago. I couldn't remember his name, but I remembered his smug face and the way he clung to her like a lost puppy. This man, who I'd never even spoken to, was now involved in her personal vendetta. I sent the footage to Marissa. "Can you tell your friend to leave me alone? Or do I need to get a lawyer involved?" Marissa was stunned. I had no idea it got this bad. She said she was just venting. "Her venting is turning into harassment," I said. "This isn't friendship. This is obsession." That night, Rachel finally texted me again. No apology. Just, "You're really gonna make this legal? After everything?" I didn't respond. But I saved every message, every screenshot, every clip. Because this wasn't just drama anymore. This was war. I didn't go to the police right away. Part of me still hoped it would stop. I thought maybe once she realized I wasn't playing her game anymore, she'd let it go. But it didn't stop. It shifted. I started getting emails at work from anonymous accounts. One accused me of being emotionally abusive to a former student. Another said I had been caught drinking during school hours. All of it was false, but serious enough that my HR department had to look into it. I was called in for a meeting. I sat there, calm on the outside, but shaking inside, as they explained the complaints. "I don't know who would send those," I said, though I did know. They cleared me after reviewing camera footage and staff statements. But the damage was done. My reputation, which I had spent years building, had a crack in it now. Even though I was exonerated, people were whispering. My boss told me, "You might want to consider limiting your personal online presence. Someone clearly has it out for you." She didn't say it directly, but I could see it in her eyes. Suspicion. Doubt. Like she wasn't sure if I was the calm, reliable person everyone thought I was. It made me sick. Then one night, around 11:30 p.m., I got a call from an unknown number. I don't usually answer those, but something in me said to pick it up. It was Rachel's mom. "Hi," she said, voice trembling. I didn't know who else to call. "Rachel's in the hospital." I was silent. She continued. "She tried to harm herself. She's okay, physically. But she's not doing well." My stomach sank. I didn't know what to feel. Part guilt, part anger, all tangled up. Her mom asked if I could come visit, just to talk to her. She said Rachel had been asking for me. I told her I needed time to think. That night, I couldn't sleep. I kept playing everything over in my mind, the years of support, the ghosting when I needed her, the harassment, the lies. Now this. Part of me wanted to go, to sit by her side and ask, "Why did you do this to me?" Part of me also wanted to pretend I never got that call. I didn't visit her. I sent a message instead. "Rachel, I hope you get better. Truly. But I can't be part of your recovery. I need to protect myself. Please respect that." No reply. Not that week, not the next. But 3 weeks later, Something happened I didn't expect. One of the teachers at my school, Tom, a quiet guy I only exchanged small talk with before, asked me out for coffee. I wasn't sure if it was a date or just friendly, but I went anyway. I needed something normal. We talked about work, life, family. He told me he'd gone through something similar with a friend who manipulated and drained him. I stayed too long, he said. Tried to save someone who didn't want saving. I nodded. Same. We kept meeting. Coffee turned into walks. Walks turned into dinners. And then something I never saw coming, he told me he'd known Rachel, briefly. Turns out, he had gone on 2 dates with her over a year ago. She ghosted him after he set a boundary about not being available every night. She had told him, people always leave me, and he'd tried to comfort her at first. But then, she blocked him after he said he needed some space. She didn't handle no very well, he said. It freaked me out. I backed off fast. I stared at him, floored. This wasn't just about me. Rachel had a pattern. A destructive one. And she was pulling other people into it. Now things made more sense. Why her boyfriend was involved. Why the harassment was so precise. Why she twisted things so easily. She wasn't just someone who needed help. She was someone who weaponized vulnerability. I felt anger again, but also a strange kind of relief. It wasn't just me. I wasn't crazy. I wasn't overreacting. But now I knew I had to be ready. Because if she was capable of dragging people into her chaos like this, there was no telling what she'd do next. I thought it was over. But it wasn't. A few days after that talk with Tom, I got another message. This time, it was from a woman I didn't know. Her name was Dana. She found me through LinkedIn. The message was polite but strange. Hi, I know this is unusual. I've recently started seeing Rachel, and I came across some things that made me feel uneasy. I think you should know she's been talking about you a lot. She still blames you for her breakdown. I sat there for a while, reading the message over and over. I wrote back, what kind of things? Dana replied, I found a burner Instagram account. It's full of posts about you, screenshots of your texts, twisted stories. She said you bullied her and ruined her life. She's told people you're mentally unstable. But it didn't add up. I started digging. She sent me screenshots. There it was, my face, my name, and a bunch of lies underneath. Stories I never told. Conversations that never happened. And then I saw something that made my blood run cold. A post that read, she'll get what's coming to her. No one leaves me. Dana said she was scared. She had broken things off with Rachel after seeing how obsessed she was. She wanted to give me a heads up in case things escalated again. That was it. I was done playing nice. I gathered everything. Every text. Every screenshot. The door footage. The emails. The blog comments. Even the LinkedIn message from Dana. I printed it all out and called a lawyer. I filed for a restraining order. Rachel was served at her apartment. I heard from Marissa that she lost it, crying, screaming, saying I was ruining her life. But I didn't feel bad anymore. I wasn't angry either. I was focused. I also sent everything anonymously to her employer. Counseling license and all. Every unprofessional thing she said or posted. The obsession. The harassment. I didn't embellish. Just the facts. Let them decide what to do with it. The last I heard, she was suspended pending review. It wasn't revenge. Not exactly. It was self-defense. But I won't lie, it felt good. A few weeks later, I got a handwritten letter in the mail. No return address, but I knew the handwriting. Rachel. It was short. I hope you're happy. You were supposed to be my best friend. You didn't even try to understand me. I read it once. Then I lit it on fire in the sink. But here's the part one haven't told anyone, not even Tom. I went back through our old messages one night, thinking maybe I missed something. Some red flag, some warning. And I found one. A voicemail. From 2 years ago. I'd forgotten it was there. She was crying on the recording. Saying she couldn't handle life, that she felt invisible. She said I was the only person she trusted, the only one who ever listened. And I remember that night I had let it go to voicemail because I was tired. I never called back until the next day. And when I did, I was distracted. I had a work deadline. I told her I'd call her later. I never did. That voicemail sat there, unheard, while she spiraled. That part was on me, and I'll carry it. Not as an excuse for what she did. There's no excuse for that. But as a reminder, I wasn't perfect in this. I ignored my own instincts. I stayed silent when I should have set boundaries. I answered when I should have walked away. And when someone cried for help, I hesitated. In the end, Rachel lost her job. She disappeared from social media. Moved away, I think. Marissa cut contact too. The whole circle crumbled. Tom and I are still together. He knows everything. He doesn't judge. I've learned how to protect my peace. I've learned not every broken person is mine to fix. Some people drown you while you're trying to save them. But sometimes, you look back at the wreckage and realize you set fire to part of it, too. I don't regret getting out. I just regret not getting out sooner.